This is The Scoop for Friday.
I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines. Attorney General James Uthmeier yesterday filed a lawsuit accusing Planned Parenthood of falsely advertising that abortion medication is, quote, safer than Tylenol, unquote. The lawsuit filed in Santa Rosa County Circuit Court target claims by Planned Parenthood, Federation of America Incorporated, and several affiliates. The 37-page lawsuit focuses in part on statements about the safety of mifepristone and misoprostol, which are used to induce chemical abortions. Planned Parenthood of Florida President and CEO Alexandra Mandato called Uthmeier's lawsuit a politically motivated attack and defended the medication. The Attorney General is also seeking up to $350 million in penalties, or $10,000 for an estimated 35,000 chemical abortions and other fines. In addition, the lawsuit asked the court for any additional relief, including the dissolution and reorganization of any or all defendants' enterprises or the suspension and revocation of any state licenses or permits. As the governor's chief of staff last year, Uthmeier worked closely with DeSantis to help defeat a constitutional amendment aimed at expanding abortion rights, which was launched after the Republican-controlled legislature and DeSantis approved a ban on abortions after 6 weeks. Greening disease has devastated citrus in Florida, with the U.S. Department of Agriculture reporting the disease reduced Florida citrus production by 75%. But WMNF's Chris Young reports scientists at the University of Florida say a protein could help make some citrus more tolerant to the deadly disease.
Eric Triplett is a professor at the University of Florida and co-lead author on a paper describing the research. He says that since the disease was first detected in Florida in 2005, citrus yields have declined by about 95%.
It's been one of the most devastating crop diseases the United States has ever experienced.
So UF researchers used genes from another plant and put them into Hamlin oranges. The genes code for a protein that helps the new plants, called new citrus. New citrus plants not only tolerate disease, but they also produce high-quality fruit.
I'm proud to say we'll be able to keep the orange on our license plates. We should be fine for years to come.
Now, they're working to propagate lots of new citrus plants from the existing ones for large-scale field testing. According to UF, approvals by the EPA and the Food and Drug Administration for commercial use are expected in less than 2 years. Chris Young, WMNF News.
About a week ahead of consideration by the State Board of Education consideration, the Florida Department of Education is considering changes to its proposed standards for teaching the history of communism. The Tampa Bay Times reported today that in the Florida Administration Register advertisement, the Department of Education listed possible changes, such as removing a standard requiring instruction on the rise of modern Marxist theory of oppression in schools, including critical race theory. It could also amend language on a standard related to the dangers of pro-communist propaganda in media industries. Language related to key events of the Cold War could be added. And there may also be clarifications regarding revolutionary socialist and communist movements in Nicaragua and Chile about the use of imprisonment, torture, and forced labor camps to instill fear and compliance. No alterations were suggested for the controversial changes, such as one to remove a stigma for McCarthyism. The state board is scheduled to consider the standards on November 13th. First Amendment oral arguments were made yesterday in federal court in Jacksonville to reinstate a lawsuit against Pinellas County for defunding a black community-run radio station in St. Petersburg. Black Power 96 is a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, or APEDF. Their attorney, Luke Lero, says he's confident in the oral arguments and that they'll get a decision that reverses the dismissal of their complaint by the trial court.
To show that freedom of speech is not forgotten, it's not lost, that freedom of association, no one should be punished, no one should be penalized for associating even with the group considered to be disfavored.
3 years ago, the station asked for $37,000 of federal COVID-19 relief grant, which Pinellas County approved shortly after a county commissioner denounced the station's association with the Black Freedom Movement, and the funds were revoked. If the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals decides in the station's favor, the case would go back to the trial court. Partly cloudy skies and highs in the mid-80s. More cool weather tonight with overnight lows in the mid-60s. Sunshine tomorrow and a possible stray shower and highs in the mid-80s. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.